Yo. Yo, yo, yo. What's up to my dogs and my bitches and my hoes? Hello, everybody watching all across the world. I hope this video goes viral because I want people in Mexico to see it. I want people in Afghanistan to watch it. Hello, my name is Mr. Larry Singleton, and I am here to tell you a story. It's a story that is 100% true. It happened in my hometown of... It doesn't matter. But all you have to know that... You just have to know that this story really did happen. And I have to tell you this because it's one of those stories that sounds like... It sounds very unbelievable, quite frankly. It sounds like something someone would make up to be funny, but I'm not doing that today. Because my goal today is to just have the story on film. This is being shot on 35mm film. No, it's just a shitty webcam. But I have, this is my cat saying hello. Jump up and say hello to everyone if you want, buddy. I have in the past, I have told this story, but I've written it in a book, which is called The Human Condition, or THC for short. But the thing about it is, nobody reads books anymore. I already know that I'm smarter than 99.999% of the people I meet out there. Unfortunately, it's very boring for me because nobody... I haven't met an interesting person since 2014, I think. I don't know. Ever since 9/11, like ever since 2001, there's two big markers of time. There's 9/11 and there's COVID. And ever since those two moments, it feels like someone was just kind of tinkering with reality. Feels like I woke up from a bad nightmare and everyone's just kind of playing a version of themselves. I haven't met like a real person since 2000. Anyway, doesn't matter. I don't want to get too gloomy on you. If you want to know the burden of what it feels like to be a very intelligent man. No one entertains you. No one cheers you up. Everyone's boring. Everyone's scrolling into their phone. Everyone's watching some show that I haven't heard of, and I always have to tell my friend, yeah, I'll check it out sometime, even though I know full well that I won't. Alright. So, the story I'm about to tell you actually happened. And, like I said, I wrote about this already. I will leave a link in the description if you would like the story in book form. Now, in the book, it's a short story, so there's a character in the book who tells the story to another character. I am not going to tell it to you the way he told it to you, or the way I wrote it in that version, and that's kind of the interesting thing about this story, is that whoever tells it to you is going to tell it to you with their id, their psyche. They'll put their own twist on it, okay? So if you're like a Larry Singleton purist, if you're a fan of my work, and you read the story in the book, and you watch it here today, or tonight, whenever the asylum lets you use the internet for an hour. I don't know what your situation is, nor do I care. But if you are cross-referencing the stories and you're like, how come you missed out this detail here and this one has a tag and you never mentioned it here? Listen, in the comedy business, this is what we experts call ad-libbing, okay? So it's not going to be the same. I might say some things today that I haven't said ever. Sorry, I'm stretching my legs. That's not how I cross my legs, like I'm a spider. Daddy long legs. I just saw a clip of that in the reflection there. It looked funny. Okay, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, before I get into the story, I have to tell you that it's not for the faint of heart. It gets very disgusting, very gruesome. But I'm gonna jump into it now that I've given you the trigger warning for Gen Z. For anyone born after 1999, I have given you the trigger warning. So if you're not in the mood to be, have your cage rattled, then click off. I'm an anti-algorithm person, so it doesn't matter to me if this only gets like 10 views, 2 views, as long as there's a record of this story out there when I'm dead and gone, which statistically might be very soon because we're living in a collapse. Okay, and don't worry, I will put a time marker at the bottom so that you can just start the story when it starts, which will be right now. So I've given a 7-minute introduction. You already know me. I'm a little long-winded. All right. Look at that. My leg looks sexy in the reflection there. Okay. That's neither here nor there. So, there once was a homeless man in the community. Let's just say the community. I'm not going to specify where it happened. You don't need to know. You just know that it's North America somewhere. Could be Canada, but it really happened. So this homeless man, he one day went to one of these, it was like a Home Depot store. Like one of these stores like IKEA, where it has different shit. It doesn't just have furniture. They sell they sell things that you wouldn't really think about when you're going to IKEA. You'll be buying a couch and then you see, oh wow, you guys sell forks? You guys sell knives? You guys sell scissors? It's one of those stores. So wherever you live, maybe you live in some shithole that doesn't have an IKEA. So I don't know. I gotta think of another. Maybe in your place it's called just letters, just Z and Z. Some Polish. But whatever it is, just know that it's in America, in Canada. We're so spoiled that we have a lot of selections. You remember at the end of Hurt Locker, where was it? I think it was Jeremy Renner. He left the war, and then he went to a supermarket, and he saw a whole bunch of shit. There were 50 different cereals for one thing that he wanted, and he was just shocked. Maybe you're like Jeremy Renner, and I'm blowing your mind. Okay, so my cat is still here, so he might make some. Do you want to sit? Go ahead, sit down, buddy. It's going to be a long, bumpy ride of a story. But if I get tired, I'm going to steal the seat back from you. So, the homeless guy was in this store, okay? He was just doing his thing, shopping with his, jiggling his change, just trying to add up, see if he could afford anything. Because, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but if you're in another country, but IKEA sells food and shit. So he wasn't there for, no reason. He was just, he was looking, He was just trying to see the beauty of being a drifter or a vagrant of some sort is that there's no structure. So you could walk into a store and just kind of just kind of lollygag in the aisles, which is what this man was doing. He had no rhyme or reason to be there, okay? But, so, he's doing his thing. He's perusing. And I'm not going to lie to you. He is unkempt. He's a homeless man. He smells quite strongly of battery acid and what's the other thing? Like a certain type of rotting carcass on a hot summer day where it's just like kind of left out. That's what this guy smells like. I'm not saying it to be rude or offensive or to make fun of him in any manner. No. We don't do that on this channel. In fact, when I get to the end, you'll hear the moral of the story. But the reason why I'm telling you in such detail about why the homeless guy smelled is because he drew the attention of one of the little shitty teenager clerk person guys working there. Excuse me. Oh, my burp didn't come. So, the teenager guy is trained, or was trained, to report to the authorities. Not the authorities, but the rent-a-cops, the security guards. So, because this store had a history of thefts, the little boy with the peach fuzz mustache, he reaches out to the security guard and he goes, "Hey, this homeless gentleman has been here for a while, and in my training it said that I'm supposed to tell you, because I'm just doing my job here, the Nuremberg defense people. I'm just doing my job, okay? I don't want to get fired because I make 2 potatoes and a pebble and a bean an hour. And I'm saving up for the new Fortnite app or whatever." I don't know what young people do anymore. So, the security guard, he tells the guy, he goes, "Well, thank you, young man, for telling me about the vagrant. We are going to take care of it. I mean, I'm gonna monitor the situation. You get your little ass back to work and go put some shit back on the shelves. That's what we're paying you 2 potatoes an hour for, you little bitch." You little teenaged bitch. The world is collapsing and we're still forcing you to work. You little teenaged bitch. You non-contributing Gen Z nothing. Alright, that's being too mean. You pussified Gen Z little bitch. Okay, that's enough. So, so the kid goes back to work. No disrespect if you're Gen Z and you were offended by that, but I did give you a trigger warning, didn't I? So, the manager guy, the security guard, he follows the homeless guy around, and it becomes very clear what he's doing. Now, the homeless guy feels threatened. I don't know if you know about like customer service or anything, but when you follow someone closely and stuff, it's like the vibes are there. The homeless man doesn't feel wanted or included in the store. He just feels like, oh, now they're just treating me like a piece of garbage like everyone else. So, because they have made him the enemy, what this homeless gentleman does is he starts stealing. But he doesn't do it secretly, okay? He does it on purpose. He starts yelling shit out to everyone around him. He's like, "Hey, look at me. The drifter, the vagrant is stealing everybody. Isn't that what you wanted? I'm the bad guy." It was like the Scarface moment where he's telling them, you need people like me. If you want to feel like, you're on your high horse, I'm going to give you what you want. So he starts stealing. But you can see a light bulb go off into the man's head at the exact right time. He notices, remember I told you at the beginning of the story, it's not just a furniture store like an IKEA setup. The homeless guy notices a bunch of knives, okay? And I don't mean just one type of knife. I mean knives of all variations, every permutation. There's kitchen knives. There's knives to cut papayas open. There's knives to cut coconuts open, okay? That was not a satisfying burp. So the homeless guy, who, by the way, he's wearing like one of these trench coat things that's like very raggedy, but it's got a lot of pockets. So he just starts taking all these knives and just pocketing them. So he's pocketing all these knives. One's like this, one's like this. Any type of knife that you can think about, this homeless gentleman has it in his trench coat thing, okay? And he isn't, at this point, like I said, he doesn't give a shit who knows what he's doing. He is just making a statement. So he's jangling his coat. He's like, look at me, everybody. Look what I got. I took all your shit. I got knives. Isn't that what you wanted? I stole all your cutlery. Sue me. Call the cops. Do whatever you want. So the security guard, because he's trained in a certain way, he can't tackle the guy or do anything. All he can do is just follow him and just kind of usher him out of the store, sort of. Not really usher. He's not really doing anything. He's just a security guard type of guy, He wears a turban, and he doesn't say much. He's just an average security guard. That's what he does. He wears a turban. That's all. That's... He doesn't protect anything except his stupid thoughts. He protects them by wearing a turban. He can't afford to let the stupid thoughts get out into the world, so he has to wear a giant turban. Okay, my apologies if you are a turban wearer. My apologies to Justin Trudeau. Okay, so I get a little hyper when I talk about turbans. It's like sugar to me. Okay, so the homeless guy, they're done playing this cat and mouse game. Finally, after the guy has managed to take a lot of these knives, and the coat's jangling every which way. So he finally leaves the store, okay? And the security guard is, I don't know what he's doing. He's like calling for the real authorities, the police, because he cannot do anything under the jurisdiction of whatever. I don't know. I'm not a law person. I don't follow the law. I just observe it. Okay, so he calls the police. Now, the police, they show up in a matter of like seconds because the security guard pressed some button inside the thing. I don't know if you know that. If you haven't worked in a department store, there are buttons where if someone presses it, it will alert the authorities. So taxi drivers have this. I don't know if you've ever seen, I'm not talking about Uber, I'm talking about legit taxi drivers. They have a thing at the back that says, if this thing is flashing, call 911. Because the taxi driver can press a button to alert everyone else that someone has entered the vehicle and has a gun pointed to the back of his head or whatever. Or, some guy just pulled his dick out and he's waving it around at the homeless guy. I mean, at the cab driver. I don't know why I said at the homeless guy. Maybe that was a Freudian slip, because I'm going to tell you what happens next. The homeless guy, he's outside there. The cops, they are there on the scene, and they're like, police, any opportunity to oppress and harm people that they should be protecting the most, they'll take it, right? So they have their guns out. It's like the ending of E.T. They all have their guns out, and they're like, homeless man, drop the weapons. Drop the weapons. And the homeless man's trench coat is open. His dick is just, flailing about. And the homeless guy's like, he doesn't, because let me tell you something. When you make someone an enemy, like, you see how I'm backed into this corner here, right? When you back someone into a corner, they will have no other option but to fight back, okay? So the homeless guy, armed to the gills, armed to the teeth with these knives, he pulls out one. There's police everywhere. They have him bombarded at this store like this. And the homeless guy's like, you know what? How often do you get this opportunity? So he takes one of the knives, and he goes, yeah! And the knife, it goes, it does this thing, and it lands right on one of the cops' foreheads. And the other cops are just looking like, what do we do? Like, there's no training for this. And then so they still have their guns, and they're like, drop the knives, drop the weapons, blah blah blah. And the homeless guy goes, never. You'll never take me alive, coppers. And he just throws another knife. So this goes on for a while, okay? The second knife that he throws, it doesn't really hit anything. It just kind of lands on the ground, and you can hear the tung, 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 tung. And then they antagonize him some more. Drop the weapons. Drop the weapons. I should also tell you in this story that in the town that this story took place, there was a recent homeless Rodney King type of situation that happened. So they couldn't really shoot. Like, it would have been bad press for them to kill the homeless guy. So they just kind of, they wanted to threaten him, but they didn't want to do anything because I think they were under explicit orders from their captain. Do not shoot another homeless guy for another 6 months. We got to let the first guy, the heat has to die down, okay? And then after that, just kill as many of them as you want. I don't give a shit. Because my name is John Tory, and I make $200,000 a year. Okay. Some of you are not really going to understand that joke, but whatever. John Tory is the mayor of Toronto, for those of you that don't know. I wanted to tell this story without too many, secret passageways and ADD things. I wanted this story to be a standalone piece so that anyone could watch it and understand, but it's too late for that. It's going to be an imperfect video because I'm not going to do this a second time. So, the cops are not shooting, okay? They are just kind of chilling. They're vibing. Not really vibing, but it's like a cat and mouse thing. There's a hidden there's a secret unwritten agreement that they're not going to shoot the homeless guy, and the homeless guy is going to continue to do what he's been doing for the past 2-3 hours. Because this, I don't know if you understand the magnitude of what I'm trying to explain. It goes on for a long time, okay? He throws a knife, it lands on one of the cops' windshields. Poosh! And then he just keeps doing that for hours. He's doing a lot of property damage, okay? And he's a really good aim. All of his knives. And he's just going to town, terrorizing these police officers, okay? And at this point, somewhere around the 6th or 7th hour mark, the citizens of this small town start kind of cheering on the homeless guy. I don't know if you've ever seen Dog Day Afternoon, But it becomes sort of like that. They're all kind of cheering him on, and they're like, "Yeah, Sonny, yeah, we want you to pay for your partner's sex operation. These coppers will never take you alive. Take them for all they're worth. You show them, buddy." And the homeless guy's like, kind of confused. Like, he's not really doing it for an audience. He's just kind of doing it to entertain himself. Like, in all honesty, if he wasn't at this IKEA at that particular juncture and moment in time, he would have probably just been passed out in an alley, you know, just jacking off behind a dumpster. Like, to him, it's like a zero-sum game. Like, man, that's not a right way to put it. It's like there's no difference between him doing it and not doing it. You see what I'm saying? He's not looking at this like, oh shit, I could get in trouble. To him, it's just entertainment. It's no different than if you were at home and you started watching something on Netflix for like 10 minutes and you're like, let's change that shit. That was boring. Click. She's mid. Click. The homeless guy, to him, as far as he's concerned, it's the same thing, okay? So I'll try to fast forward the story a bit. Oh shit, half an hour. Good lord. I was trying to finish this within a certain amount of time. So, okay, so that keeps going on for a while, right? The dog day afternoon, the audience is there. Homeless guy has a knife. And then it lands. Whoosh, crashes into a cop's windshield, okay? Over and over. So by the end of the day, it's like a Gettysburg for policeman officer vehicles. Just broken windshields. Some of the policemen got like, you know, just a knife in the arm or something, but that's been long taken care of. There were medics on the scene. There were helicopters. It was a whole. It got really intense, but I don't need to belabor that part of the story because the real part of the story comes at the end. Okay. There we go. Finally, an effective burp. So, homeless guy is on his last knife. So, he pulls it out, and he's showing everyone, okay? He's got the knife, and his trench coat is, like, not making any dangly jingle-jangle noises. So, the police know that it's his last knife. The homeless guy knows it's his last knife. The dog day afternoon audience, they all have internalized, oh shit, this has to be his last knife because, I mean, we've been here for like 6-7 hours now since like lunch. The sun has already set. There's no way he has another knife, okay? So he holds it up and he's like, this is not for the faint of heart, okay? He holds it up, and he takes his dick out, and he takes one of the serrated edge parts of the knife. So his dick is like, I might lose sound here for a bit, but he has the knife in one hand. The microphone will be my dick. It will be his dick. So he has it like this. He has the serrated edge. He makes an incision. He makes a tiny incision, okay? And he cuts. So now the dick is just kind of flapping around like that. So the dick is just flapping around down there once he makes the incision. He kind of sticks his thumb into the incision that he made, and then he just kind of pulls it out in one swift motion. He just rips his own dick off, and now he's just a fountain of blood everywhere. Some of the cops that are a little too close to the front, they get sprayed, and they're all just like, ah, and it's like a Kill Bill type of scene. So he has his dick in one hand, and the knife is in the other hand, okay? And he takes the knife, And this just shows you that he's not playing around anymore. He goes, wah! And the knife goes like this, lands right into the neck of one of the police officers. And no one, like I said, there's been no training for this type of thing, okay? So they all just watch this police officer just slowly bleed out, and he just kind of bleeds out like that. So they look at their colleague die, and then they look at each other, and they're like, so what do we do, right? Homeless guy still has his dick in his hand, so he holds it up, and he goes. So this is where the ad-libbing comes in. If you're a comic or if you're a fan of my work, if you tell this story to someone else, this is where you would make up your own shit. You can do it throughout the whole story if you want, but this is a particular fun place to do it. So he holds up the dick and he goes, "To die for one's country is the sweetest act of revenge." And then he squeezes it, like he squeezes his own dick a little bit so that a little blood kind of just drips down. And then he kind of, with his other hand, he wipes it like war paint. He looks kind of like Braveheart at this juncture. So he holds up the thing. He goes, "A cab." No, I'm just kidding. This story took place before "a cab" became like a phrase. So he did not say "a cab." That's just me being goofy. But he did say he goes, "This is America." No, he doesn't say that. He goes, he said what I said. "To die for one's country is the sweetest act of revenge there is." And then takes the dick, and then he throws it, goes splat into the air, and then it goes splat right onto a police officer's face. So one cop he has killed, and the other cop, he is traumatized for life because he got a homeless guy's cut off dick on his face. There's no other way to say it. I mean, there probably is, but I'm just telling you, we're storytelling here, okay? So due to the extent of how far this homeless guy has taken this day, the audience doesn't know if they should be on his side anymore, the Dog Day Afternoon guys. And the police, I told you they're not supposed to shoot any more homeless guys that month. At that point, one guy stands up and he's like, "I've had it up to here with this homeless man. I'm sick of this shit. Captain, I know we were given orders, but do I have your permission to shoot this?" I'm not going to say it. "Do I have your permission to shoot this MF?" And the captain goes, Yes, you do. Shoot this homeless N-word. Shoot this homeless NIGGA dead. You feel me? Do it. Do it before I change my mind, son." So, the policeman officer who stood up to make such a strong act of protest, he has the gun, and he makes that noise, the ch-ch. He is seconds away from shooting the homeless guy, okay? Seconds away. If the homeless guy didn't do what he was about to do next, he would have been another casualty. But something was on that day for him. Maybe he has a guardian angel. I don't know. But whatever it is, the homeless guy just stood up. He's like, Wait there just a goddamn damn minute. You're not going to shoot anything. And the cop goes, yeah? Why the hell's that? Why shouldn't I shoot you? You just killed one of my colleagues and threw your dick in the face of this colleague, traumatizing him forever. So why shouldn't I kill you? We kill homeless people in this city for far less. And you've done way more than that. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't shoot you dead. And the homeless guy just looks at him and he just goes, all right. That was a little fucked up. I'm not going to lie to you. You got me. But listen, I'm sorry. I understand I did something wrong, but just take me in. I need somewhere to go. Just take me in. Sorry about that, guys. I can hear where you're coming from. It was a little messed up, but I'm kind of tired. What are you guys serving in the jail tonight? One of my buddies said that last week you were serving, those McCain's cakes? Can I get one of those? Let's go, guys. Take me in. And that's it. That's the whole story. And that's what I mean by it sounds like someone made it up. I swear to you, this is a real story that happened in my hometown. And I can show you the press clippings, the newspaper articles. It happened before the internet got very, I'm sure you could find an old clipping. But yes, it really happened. And the moral of the story is, I don't know, be nice to the people in your society that you live with, because you never know what's going to happen, You get what you deserve. If you treat people in the world a certain manner, you might just get a dick thrown in your face. A cut-off homeless dick thrown in your face. And at that point, I might say that you kind of deserve it. I don't know. If you don't take care of your community and one of those members of that same community throws his dick at your face, I would have to side with the homeless man. I think it's your fault for not investing in everyone's mental health. We're not all free until we're all taken care of. All right. I think that's it for now.